Hello guys, in this video I'm gonna teach you how to install R, how to download the data files and the R codes from our Moodle page and how to load those files onto your running session in R. All right, so the first thing that you have to do is get yourselves acquainted with our Moodle page. You can see the description of the course here. Now they call it module. This is myself, Tomas Rotta. This is a picture of me. Here you can find more information about the lectures and computer labs. We're gonna use Excel. And you have access to Excel 365 through your university account. You can use the web version, the web-based application, or you can just download Excel together with Office to your computer. I'm also going to use R all the time, okay, for the lectures and the computer labs and the project too. Okay, in your project you have the option to choose. Okay, you can choose, you have the possibility to choose between doing your entire project in Excel or your entire project in R. Okay, you cannot do both because then you're going to go beyond the word limit of 4,000 words. So you have to choose. Either you do your project in Excel or in R, okay? And you must get the exact same results, okay? So a couple of pointers here. Yeah, you can see the data files here in this section. They are Excel files, which doesn't mean that you have to use Excel, okay? You can open Excel files easily in R. Then I'm going to put more information in the future about the project. So here we have the files for our first week for the lecture. We have some videos that I want you to watch at home. And then more stuff about the computer lab. Okay, you have exercises to do, and you can complete the exercise in Excel or in R. Okay, I would highly recommend you to complete all the exercises. So for each week you have 2 exercises, 2 PDF files. I would recommend you to complete all the exercises in every week in both Excel and R, so you can see that you get exactly the same results regardless of the software that you use. But of course R is much more powerful than Excel. Okay, in many ways Excel is very limited. In R you can separate the data from the procedure and you have the possibility of automation. Okay, R is way more powerful than Excel. Okay, but there's a problem. It's a little difficult to begin to use R. It's not intuitive at the beginning, so it's like riding a bicycle or learning how to swim. It's learning by doing. Okay, so let's do it. So yeah, get yourselves acquainted with the Moodle page, okay? So if you come here, in this section, you can see that I'm going to use Excel and R. There is a link here, so click on the link. It's gonna take you to the web page where you can download R. So if you have Windows, download it for Windows. You have the Mac OS option and Linux too, in case you use Linux. I'm running Windows, so click here. Then base, and then download R. This is the latest version at the moment, so click here. So just wait a little bit until the file is downloaded. And here I can go back to our Moodle page. All right, so when the file is downloaded to your computer, in this case, it's here. So you're gonna double click on the file and then install it, all right? All right, so I already have R on my computer, so I'm not going to go through the installation because I already have it. So yeah, then you just install R. And I'm gonna delete the file because I already have it on my computer. As you can see here, you see R. I'm using Windows 10 64-bit, so that's the version that I'm using. It's very easy to install, okay? So next step is So we are in week 1. So we are going to use this file here in week 1, UKDS sample 01. So click here to download the file. And go to week 1. In week 1, I wanted to do a couple of things, okay? I wanted to read the slides. Then I wanted to click on this link here, which is an ebook that is available for free on the internet. It's called R for Excel Users. It has, let me see, 10 chapters. It's easy reading. It's an introduction to R if you are coming from Excel. So it compares R and Excel and teaches you how to get started with R. And then it has some tasks, and then you can, see how it's done in Excel and how it's done in R, okay? So please read this stuff. You can read it in one day to get started with programming. Then I wanted to click here, week 1 R code, to download the code. Okay, so now you can see that the files are, well, in my case, all files are downloaded directly to the desktop. And I have R here too. So what I'm going to do is the following, which is what I recommended to do. So create a new folder wherever you want, as long as you remember where the folder is. And you do applied, you call it applied QE files, for example. Okay, and then you put your files there. Okay, everything that you have that is related to this module, you put it in that folder. Okay, because it's important. R needs to know where the files are. Okay, where the script is. It looks like this. You can open on a in the text editor. So the R code looks like this. Okay, and this is the file that we are going to use for the first week. And this is the data file. It's an Excel file, but we are going to use this Excel file in R, and that's very easy to do, okay? So notice the Excel file has 2 spreadsheets inside it, okay? In the first one, you have a description of the data. These are the variables, codes, right? And we're going to use, these are the descriptions of, this is the description of the variables that we have. And if you go to the second spreadsheet, you can see the actual data. So notice this, the first row is for the titles of the variables. And then you have the variables here, and we have 200 observations, okay? If you scroll down, it goes to 201, but because the first row is just for the labels of the variables, we actually have 200 observations, and then, so 200 individuals, if they're male, female, living conditions, educational, their level of education, whether they are employed or not, if they're self-employed, if they work full-time or part-time, how many hours on average they work per week, and where they live, okay, in which region of the UK they live. And we're going to use this in applied QE, okay? So just what is important here is for you to notice that the Excel file has 2 sheets, okay? And we are going to use the second sheet, okay? We are not going to load this into R because there is no data here. It's just a description of the data that is in the second sheet. So we need to tell R to read this Excel file, but extract information only from the second of the second sheet, which is called LFS underscore data. Okay, so you can close this now. So remember, our files, well, in my case, it's a subfolder of the desktop. It's called AQE files, okay? And it's very important to remember that. So then after installed R, just open it. It looks like this. So, and then what you have to do, you need to, it's called setting the working directory. It's basically telling R where the files are. So change directory, then where is it? In my case, it's in the desktop, then applied QE, files, then click OK. So now R knows where the files are, okay? Because we need to load those files onto R. Now open script. You see, we are in the folder now, okay? R knows that we are in this folder. So now double click to open the code that you downloaded from Moodle, okay? So the first thing that you have to do is to run this bit here, okay, to install the packages. So if you're in Windows, you have two options. You can highlight this section, right click, and then run line or selection. That's one option. Or as you can see here, Control R. You can just press Control R on your keyboard and it's going to run all of the lines that you have highlighted. Okay, you have these two options. Sometimes I use this. Look, right click and then you click. It's gonna run this. Okay, it's gonna install these packages. Okay, it takes a while. It depends on how fast your computer is and how fast your internet connection is. I already have installed these packages before recording this video, but I'm just doing it again so you can see it. There's no problem if you install it over and over again, okay? But you don't have to do it. Just install it once and then you can use it. So that's how it works. It's installing all the files. These are the packages. You can call them packages or libraries. So now it's finished, see? Now it's finished. So now you need to load them. You need to load these packages onto your session. Okay, so highlight, right click, run. Okay, so now the packages are, now they're all fully loaded. You can see here the R code for the first week. Okay, so look, I'm not going to go over all the lines in this video because I'm going to do this in the lecture. But just to give you a flavor of how it works, okay? So the first line here is telling R to read the Excel file that is in our working directory. This is the name. You see, this is the name of the Excel file, you see? If you go to the folder, that's the same name. That's the name of the Excel file. But then we are only loading the second sheet, the one that is called LFS data. You see, if you open the Excel file again, it shows you, LFS data, the second sheet. That's what we want to load on R. So let me minimize this. So that's very important. Don't forget to put this part here. Okay, so I'm gonna do Control R to run this line. You can see the line is. The command is entered here, but now I'm calling. Actually, it's a data set, right? This is a data set, and we are calling this data set using this name here. It's just a fictitious name, which happens to be the same name as the file, but it doesn't matter. It could be anything. Okay, so if you right click, if you do Control R, you can see the beginning of the file here, which is exactly what we have in Excel. Okay. It shows you or you can do it here, Control R, then do attach. This data set is going to convert. This command is very important. It's going to convert every column here into a variable, okay, that you can manipulate. So ID is going to be a variable, sex is going to be another variable, the age, the marital status, the level of qualification, the level of education, the status of employment status, if the person is employed or not, the total hours worked on average per week. Okay, so again, you can do run line or selection, then you right click. So basically now our variables became, so the columns are variables. Okay, if I come here, for example, and I type sex, you see, it's a variable. Okay, this entire column that we took from Excel, from the Excel spreadsheet, now It's called a variable, sex. It's exactly the name of the column, okay? The first row here of that column. It's called sex, and it's a variable. It has data inside it, okay? If we do ID and then Control R, we can see the IDs too, okay? So the attach command here is very important because it transforms each column into a variable, and the name of that variable is the first row, is what you see here, okay? You can see the first lines of the file here, okay? The same as in Excel. Or if you click here, View, you can see exactly what you see in Excel. You see, it's the same. So R can manipulate Excel files in the same way that that Excel does, okay? This is exactly what you see in Excel. You can scroll down, see, and you get 200 rows, which are the 200 individuals in the data set. You can scroll up. It's exactly what you have in Excel, okay? So you can close it, go back to your file, and then you keep going, okay? I'm gonna do this in the first lecture, but so this code is gonna create the pivot tables, okay? So yeah, you can run, for example, you can run here, then transpose, you can see the table, then you can add the margins, okay? This is the same as the pivot tables in Excel. Yeah, you see, this is a pivot table. I'm going to explain this in more detail in the lecture, so don't be bothered now. I just wanted to get acquainted with this, okay? Yeah, you can do more stuff, right? So you get exactly what you get in Excel just by, remember, select, use the mouse, select the lines, Control R, run. Select, Control R, right? Select. Oh, by the way, this one is going to open your web browser, so you can do pivot tables in your web browser, just like in Excel, okay? As you can see. So yeah, that's it. So that's how you get started with R. That's how you load your data onto R. Let me just go back to where we were. So you can close this. I'm not gonna save it, and then close. And then remember, keep your files in the same folder, because, and that's what I do. I put my data and my R code in the same folder, so then R knows exactly what it's doing, and you keep track of everything, okay? So that's it, folks. I see you in another video. Bye-bye.